Yo YouTube, what's happening? It's your boy Dev bringing you a video for season 2 Bryan. Buffs, nerfs, what's the sketch? Just going to give you a little rundown on what they've actually done, what they've changed, etc. So we'll start with what they decided to go through first, which is huge in my opinion. A really good change, something us Bryan Mains have been asking for a very long time, which is a new Powercrush. So originally our Powercrush used to be forward 1 plus 2, right? Now, what forward 1 plus 2 does now, it is the same, right? But now it is plus 1. So you can get some offense going, still wall splats, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still got a bit of utility, I guess. Not the same as before. But we no longer have a high power crush. We now have a mid power crush. 20 frames, mid, minus 13 on block, as you can see. And it, see standing block. And it wall splats. So the mind games are about to get scarier with this character. He always needed this, in my opinion. The high power crush, it was just useless. The only time you ever used it was when you accidentally misinputted quarter circle forward 1 plus 2. Or if you needed to do it in between some form of string. But even some of them would just get crushed anyway. Even if you power crush at the right time, you would still get crushed. And then wall splatted, like Victor's down forward 1 string. Yeah, let's not talk about that. When he goes into stance and then it ends up going underneath your high and then you get wall splatted anyway. So it's just like, it just wasn't good before. And now it's good. Minus 13 is fair. But yeah, it's good to see. Now, we're going to go through his snake eyes. So I'm just going to go through in the order of the patch notes as it was shown. So a new move that was added, which was, this one's back 1 plus 2. Now, back 1 plus 2 is an interesting one. It's 20 frames, you get a guaranteed follow-up. Obviously, you can only access this in snake eyes, right? It's a mid-mid, it floor breaks, and you get, a couple of follow-ups. You can go for quarter circle forward 1 plus 2. It's a bit finicky, it's a bit weird to hit because of how you come out of the animation, but you can get it, as you can see. And then you can also get it into itself if they don't tech correctly. And then you can also, if you're not in snake eyes, like let's say you've used your snake eyes up, right? And you want to get it back, you can run up and do up forward 3 plus 4, which will give you your snake eyes back. Snake eyes has become a lot stronger now with the mixes that he's now obtained through this new stance. Or add-on, whatever you want to call it. Install, I guess. Right? So this move itself, it is quite, not even quite, it's very linear. So it's not a move you just want to sort of be throwing out. It's really good at the wall because again it is, plus 7. But as you can see, even on hit when you're like plus 8, it's linear both directions. You really have to have them locked down. Maybe after you heat engage or something that you can use just back 1 plus 2, get that plus 7, keep the momentum going, right? Because the scary thing about this is that you can actually hold down and go into crouch after using this. So let's give you a scenario, right? You heat engaged, back 1 plus 2 down, and then you do something like this. And if you're wondering what the hell is that his hatchet kick? Have they changed hatchet kick? No, they've just given him another hatchet kick. That's going to move me on to my next move that they've given him, the Neo Grim Reaper. Such a sick name. It is a hatchet from crouch. 20 frames, plus 7 on hit. And the best part, it's minus 12. So now you're starting to see the picture, right? The scenes. You do back 1 plus 2, you hold down. Oh, if I can go into snake eyes, that'd be great. Back 1 plus 2, you're holding down. Full crouch low comes out, full crouch mix. They're minus 7. You can practically do anything, right? Especially from crouch. And if they're thinking, oh, you're going to do this hatchet, which is minus 20, right? Which is 20 frames. So they can interrupt you, obviously, if you decide to go for that. But let's not forget, you're in crouch. You got things like while standing 3. You got things like Northern Cross. You've even got your your full crouch throw. So it's not in their favor, obviously, to mash in that situation. But again, if you do land this back 1+2 and decide to go into crouch, you won't be able to get the follow up. So it's sort of like you lose damage, you gain a mix. You know, you have a gain damage, but you don't get a mix type situation. But it's really cool. I really like the way that they've designed it. For those of you who don't know, obviously when you go into heat, if you hold down like this, you go into crouch and you can instantly go for a full crouch mix now. So that is an option for you to do the hatchet, get +7, and keep your offense going, right? And the best thing is they're right next to you as well. They are in crouch. Um, well, they're in like a crouch animation. It's not actually crouch, but they literally can't do anything. You can do whatever sort of mix up you want after. There's nothing they'll be able to get away with, like trying to step, etc. So that's sort of how you want to use this move. And when you have snake eyes, there's certain ways, certain flow charts you might want to use. Things like back 3 into this hatchet has been working really well for me. You know, your down 3+4 sort of has utility now in the sense that uh you use this at the wall really. You'll try and do you know, a cancel into like a northern cross, right? You know, try and get a wall splat. Now it's even scarier with this. So it's really good this low, like insane. Now, even crazier part is that on counter hit, bro, on counter hit at the wall, this wall splats into a full combo. Like -12, +7. Just imagine the Oki situations you're going to be able to get now. It is going to be insane to see what people come out with in the next few days. Because stuff like, you know, back 1+2, even back 1+2 at the wall, sorry. You know, this string, this wall splats as well, the +7 string. So your wall pressure is just insane. Now, your snake eyes is insane. Like, your wall pressure was already insane, but now it's like, do you really want to press? You know, if I think you're going to mash now, I'll just do a Powercrush and wall splat you, a mid Powercrush. Like, he has so many options, so many mix-ups. So they really want you to utilize the snake eyes before, because obviously now that if you've not seen the patch notes yet already, forward 2-on-2 has been nerfed now in terms of tracking, right? So before you would sort of go into heat, do forward 2-on-2, forward 2-on-2, forward 2-on-2, forward 1+2. You'd repeat these same strings, same cycles over and over again. Burn your heat smash. That's it, right? Now you can get creative with it. Now you've got ways to go into crouch. Um, you know, you can, if you want, try and do snake dash, crouch cancel into, you know, a mix when you're in. Oh, I just showed you something cool there. But now you can really get creative with going into full crouch and really utilizing more of Bryan's moves, including his movement as well. So things like the snake dash and cancelling it, and you know, going for different sort of follow-ups, going for the hatchet in full crouch, going for the northern cross, going for different things now, right? So it's not just do this, go into heat, string, you know, GG's, call it a day. Now, obviously, I already told you, you know, new Powercrush. This gives you snake eyes now. So you land this successfully, as so. Boom, you go into snake eyes. You start running some mixes. Hatchet, by the way, on counter, as you can see, it just sends them flying away, like super far. So, yeah, up forward 1, really good. Snake eyes, even better now. His mixes, even better. And it's cool because they really, you will feel the tracking nerfs really hard on things like down back 1+2, on Requiem. QCB1 sort of feels the same still, but obviously, again, if you haven't read the patch notes, QCB1 no longer gives you a follow-up on normal hit. They just get sent to like Antarctica. Like, look how far back he's gone. So now you just sort of just run up to them, keep sending them to the wall. So I guess it's easier to get them there. So I'm starting to sort of piece together how to play this character more now. So yeah, let's go on to the next move, which is going to be his Magic 4. And yes, you've heard me correctly, Magic 4. Not, unfortunately, it's not a situation where you just get a magic 4, they fly in the air, and you go for like a QCB one to try and pick them up or a dash jab. No, they've given 4-3-4 and 4-3-4 charge utility now. So 4-3-4, you get a guaranteed QCB 4. If I, can execute. You do not get QCB. Nah, you do get QC forward 1+2. It's all the same stuff by the looks of it. You probably get up forward 3+4 as well. I haven't dived too much into it. I kind of wanted to get this out. But most likely, there you go. So you can get Snake Eyes from it as well if you want to get into that install, which is going to be really important this season. Then you have 4-3 full charge. We have a full launcher from full charge 4-3-4. And it's not that crazy, and it's very unlikely that it is really going to land in game. But it doesn't matter because he has it. And it might happen at a moment that you need it the most. Like, if you just think of the damage there, like, if you were to do 4-3 as a punish, and then you do this and they press into it, like, it's very possible. Especially with a new edition of another move I'm going to go through right after this. You'll see the vision with it. But it's really cool because 4-3 had no utility before. It was a terrible punish. I never used it as a 12 frame punish because it's only +2. And it's like, why don't I just use 1-2, less damage, take +8 frames? There's nothing they can do. Let me run my mix. Let me try go for a counter hit. 1-4, keep them close, +4. 2-3 was whatever as well. Still pushed them back too far. It was something I wish they were going to change here so that we had, a reliable 10 frame with good frames and kept them close, but it's fine. Uh, but yeah, 4-3 was just not cutting it at all. So now that you have a mix-up that's like an actually good mix-up that comes out of it, regardless of it being minus or not, doesn't matter. It's just having it is important. Because obviously you still have 4-3 forward 4, which is, as you can see, counter hit launcher. You can pop heat, you get full combo. You don't even have to pop heat. You can hit him with QCB4, QCB1, sorry. But yeah, I'm not even going to try. It's going to take me a few attempts. But yeah, that takes me on to the next move, which is his new 12 frame punish. This is exactly what we needed. When I mean frames, damage, utility, 4-1. That's on counter hit. It does 30 damage. 4-1. Look at the frames. +7. You can do anything. Near enough anything. 4-3. It's gonna frame trap. You can do your down forward 1 sequence. You can just go for anything. 3+4 probably still is. It will still get stepped if they step to the right. But on delayed timing, or you can go for up 2-2-2-3. You can go for down 4, no problem. You go for down back 3, no problem. It's literally what we needed. A good punish with good frames. I would even argue using this over up 2-2-2-3 as your 13 frame punish, which knocks them down. Obviously, if you're near the wall, definitely use this because you can get a wall splat. But my god, and on top of that, you can go into sway. So you get +8, you get a mix. It's the same as down forward 2-1 back sway, where this mix is guaranteed. They can't power crush through the QCB1. If you get the low, the hatchet out of it, you get the QCB4. If they start ducking, you can just go for the QCB4 instead of the hatchet. Like, you don't even have to use that. You can just continue your pressure this way, but I'm just saying it's there as an option, right? If you want to continue that pressure. And the reason I'm saying it links so well with the 4-3-4 changes is because this is just a mind game in itself. Because this is a high, right? A safe high. -1. -1 when you sway back is neutral. 4-3 is -10. So more time people were, when they saw Magic 4, they weren't really scared of anything. Because there was no utility, no counter hit properties, nothing. No follow-ups, etc. So when you run this, it's like, look here, you're -12. Now on charge, you get your launcher, obviously. But now if you can sort of see what's going on here. 4-3-4. Now they really have to start thinking about your Magic 4 mixes. Is he going to try and use the high to keep better frames? And then you catch him off guard with the sway. You're neutral. You go for the QSB1, they're thinking, okay, next time you do the mid, now they're going to have to start thinking to duck the high so you don't get a neutral situation where they could be getting mixed up. you know, their jab's going to get crushed. It puts them in really awkward situations. So now you have good utility. 12 frames. Insane. Really cool. Again, I don't really think it's going to be very common that you land, you know, the 434 full charge, but it's, again, Tekken 8, you know, anything can happen, so we'll see. But yeah, we'll go on to the next move. They gave forward 1+2 a buff, which I didn't really understand when I saw. What they wrote is increased damage from 20 to 30 on a successful reversal. I thought it was fine the way it was. It's really good, turn stealer. Uh, but now it does an extra 50% damage on a successful reversal. So you know what? I'll take it. Is what it is. Just a nice little buff for us. Now they have changed this 3+4 2. Reduce the distance between the characters when first attack hits from behind, mitigating instances where the second hit would whiff. So there's been a lot of instances we've seen where this would just randomly whiff when you're at the wall, right? Like you're going for some setup and then it will hit, and then for some reason the second hit just whiffs, like randomly. So they reduce the distance between characters when first attack hits from behind, mitigating instances where the second hit would whiff. Yep. Increase the window by 5 frames releasing the button. Mid hold to perform the non-hold version of the second hit. So this was a weird one. You've obviously got the full charge, but there's more delay now. Like there's more of a mind game with it now, which I found it's quite funny that they went for it. Like you can confirm a lot better now. Before you would see the 3+4 land and you'd still go for the charge, and now it's like, okay, now I can sort of visually confirm and delay it a bit more. So, did he need this buff? Not really. But he's got it now. So it is what it is. It still has the same sort of guard break. Everything's the same. They just gave it a little buff. Now onto the next move. Is going to be 1+2 1. So they've just increased the tracking of the second hit. Sometimes I know it's probably happened to you guys without even noticing, but it's happened to me noticeably where the one for some reason just whiffs at close range. Not too sure what that was about. So now they've made it so it's a lot more, you know, consistent, especially in, you know, stuff like combos. I don't even know what combo we can go for. We go for like, I don't know, something like that. You'll have less instances of it whiffing now. So nice little buff on the hitbox, which is cool. Now they made a change on forward 4, which was a weird one. They made it seem like you could almost hit confirm it, which you can see the little delay, right? It's almost confirmable, but it's definitely not confirmable. I know that's really weird to say, but yeah, there's like this little extra delay, and I feel like it's almost Twitch confirmable. So when you're going for that launcher and you want to make sure that you're gonna confirm it, it's there. It's definitely there. You have to be really like clued on to see it. So when you're punishing like Lords while standing 2 or Kazuya's down by 1-2, you know, you've got that extra frame of leniency on it to notice it. So that's cool. Now, this change right here, the next change, huge change. Probably one of my favorite changes they've made. Again, just adding to that sort of mix up, giving Bryan more mind games with this move in particular, is down 2. It's got all the same properties, but now you can go into crouch if you hold down. You're already seeing where I'm going with this, right? When you are +8 on hit here and you go into crouch, shout out HK for mentioning it, but he said, you know, you could do something like this. They can't Powercrush through this. While standing 1, baby. While standing 1. Like, what is that about? Obviously you're not gonna go for that all the time, but it's just an option that's there. Now the mix-ups are crazy. You know, the mind games are even scarier with Bryan. You know, if you got Snake Eyes, you go into down two, you go into crouch, you go into the hatchet. Like, bro, I don't know. This change, there's so much you can do with it. I'm excited to see what people sort of come out with, but I'm sure it's going to be along the lines of, again, you go into this full crouch low, you go into this, you know, you go down, you go into a Northern Cross. Uh, there's just so many things you can do with this. The opportunities are endless. So really take advantage of this down two change. Definitely get used to it because it's quite uncomfortable at the start, and really get used to the full crouch down forward three input because you don't want to be getting snake hitch. It's happened to me a few times when I was playing ranked. So really get used to this and really understand the animation. But yeah, cool change. Now, you've seen it a bit throughout the video, but I was so happy when I saw this. Northern Cross guarantees QCP4. This move finally has utility. Look at that 43 damage on counter hit, obviously. Insane. I'm so happy to see this because it gives me incentive to actually use this move. I only use this move at the wall. I use it against Steve when I'm like, I need like some high crush against certain characters. I'm using against a Mishima, I'm wave dashing him and I'm using Northern Cross. It gives me a little frame advantage. I go for back one. That's it. Now it's like, okay, now I'm rewarded for making the right read, for using a nice high crushing move. A bit of damage on top. Happy days. More incentive to use this. And again, it just adds to the mixes that you get. You know, you do your down two into crouch, boom, you go for Northern Cross. If you think they're gonna jab to take the turn back, especially if you're like on block, where you're -2, and you're in crouch, you go down, boom. They try to take the turn back with a jab, counter hit. Like there's so many things you can do now, so many ways you can get more creative. But yeah, nice change there to Northern Cross. Really happy to see it. Now they've changed his parry. They finally fixed his parry. Where, if you don't know, there's an interaction, particularly with Steve, where if he does like a string on you and you parry, he has like some auto parry sway, where you can just get out of your parry and takes no damage. And there's some scenarios where you can just launch him, right? But it's so weird in your head to confirm and launch. You know, you're there, you call out him doing a certain move, you get your parry, you take your damage, you get your snake eyes, and you move on. Now we won't have that problem with them. We can actually use our parry against Steve's and they don't get some auto parry or a sway, right? So it was a really cool change. I'm really happy to see it. So yeah, I saw Nee was super hyped as well. I'm super hyped. Everyone's hyped. So it's good to see. Now, obviously, I already showed you guys, QCP1 is pretty much kept all of the same properties. It just no longer counter hit. Well, it does counter hit launch, sorry, but you don't get the follow up, right? If you see the patch notes, you'll see that there. Down forward 3+4, down forward 2-3. It's been adjusted. I don't know if you've had it before, but I've had a situation where I've done down forward 2, my opponent's side walking me, they're literally behind me, like near enough behind me, and the 3's connected. So this is not going to happen anymore. Where this just counter hits you from a ridiculous angle, not happening. So cool. Let's see. Let's move on to the next one, which is obviously Requiem. Requiem no longer has an active frame. It's 15 frames, not 15 to 16. It is a lot easier to step, even on when you are +8. They will have leniency to step it. To the right, obviously, it still tracks to the left a lot, but that's fine. Oh, but as you can see, super linear. I've really felt this change in game, and you can definitely feel this change. You'll feel it when you play him. You can't just throw this out mindlessly anymore. You really have to try and utilize and use moves like that forward 2-1-4, and then you press 1+2 to get your snake eyes like that. You really need to be utilizing moves that take you into snake eyes when you're doing your combos of snake eyes. This is where the focus is going to be around. This is where your pressure is going to come from. All right. So just keep that in mind. Now, moving on to the next move, which is down back 1+2. Significant nerfs. Well, they've buffed, they balanced it, nerfed it, mainly nerfed it. They increased the tracking of the second hit, but only when the first hit connects or is blocked, making instances where it would whiff mid-sequence, which has happened. Reduced the tracking of the second hit, but only when the first hit whiffs. mitigating instances where it would unexpectedly track the opponent mid sequence. So we've seen it. Down by 1+2 has had way too much tracking. Like you could whiff it and it would just like track them to like the right completely. They could sidewalk it to the left, but to the right, no chance. Now this move is mega linear. You have to be really careful when you're using it. You want to be up close. You can't just throw it out from sort of mid range and it's gonna connect. Nah, they can step it. So good change. The things that we wanted changed have been changed, like nerfed. So Requiem, QCB1 on hit, down back 1+2. Now what they have also done is they have moving on to like the next move, the follow up of what people wanted nerfed. Forward 2 and 2 has been nerfed. So now, if they are sidewalking to the left, let's say, or let's say your string just, how do I do this? There we go. That's the best way to show you. Now your string does that. It no longer 360 homing realigns. It just sends you across the map. So, and obviously you lose snake eyes, which is cool. So you got the change that you wanted. It's no longer homing both sides, right? There is counterplay to it, but only when the first hits whiff, right? When those two first hits whiff, then you'll be able to perform your sidewalks. Apart from that, it's still got pretty good, still a really good string, still one that you really want to abuse. Now onto the next move is up 2-2-2-2-3 from Snake Eyes. This can no longer be parried. This is super strong. In general, this move is super strong, and Bryans should be using this a lot more in neutral. It's only -10, then 12, then obviously -15 last hit, right? But this is such a powerful string because it has such good tracking to both sides, and it's 13 frames. So you sort of want to use this to keep people in check who really love to step a lot. You're taking that risk, but it covers you nicely. But now it can't be parried, which makes it even stronger. And obviously, you can go for cool mind games with like down forward 1, up 2-2-3, etc. Which is nice. But yeah, that's sort of my rundown of the moves for you, just so you know what to expect, what you're looking to do, what kind of things you can do with the new moves. Now, one thing I wanted to cover with you guys, some really cool stuff, is mainly with the 4-1 change, right? Obviously into backsway. It has taken away a bit from the difficulty of some combos, right? So you had dash jab combos. So when you would do things like, orbital into double knees, right? Into dash jab, into this sequence, right? You don't need to do this anymore. Now you can just do 4-1 backsway, something like this. Run up QCB3 into heat. They've really, I feel like this was really good. I wanted something within Bryan's combos that could be used, like as a filler. I wanted something else as well on top, would have been nice, but this is really good. Like, there's a lot of combos I've been doing. I'll just show you a few for now. Like, you can do stuff like this. So back 2-1, cancel 4-1, backsway. Stuff like this. Like 100 damage. It looks saucy. It's really cool. Canceling from here, 4-1, backsway. And then you can even just run up if you don't want to use heat. Back 3-4-2-1, 81 damage. It's near enough the same as my old staple, which does the exact same amount of damage. Oh, if I don't drop it. Well, 82, that one. But if I did 2-1 as the ender, it would have been 81. Right? Same for the other combo. 2-2 would have been 82. So really simple combo, really cool combo. You can use it in literally, near enough anything. You can use it here, like this. You can use it, where else? Jet upper. You can do it here. Dun dun. Back to 1, cancel. Well, you get the idea, right? You do dual knees, you do your back 2-1, you do your you cancel 4-1, and then your ender, right? It's the exact same. You can literally implement it into any combo. You can do this into this, jab, turn, turn. dun, 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 stuff like that. You can do this, dun, dun, like really, it simplifies a lot of his combos, makes it so they don't drop as often, right? Now he still has his off-axis combos with jet upper being like a single hit launcher. Same with down three forward 4-1. He still has that uniqueness with his combos, so it's really important for him to have something like this. Let's say you got you know jet upper on a off axis, you can certain angles you can run this, and it will be a lot more reliable than going for your old B&B combos. So yeah, just my main tips and advice I would say is make sure you're using this 4-1 as your punish. 100% get used to it, get it into your muscle memory. Make sure you're using it in combos because again, it's really good. It's a really good filler. Instead of doing dash jab, let's say you do jet upper, you miss, the ability to do back 2-1, and you've confirmed it. Like you get low knees like that. You can do this instead. Instead of doing dash jab, just run this. Run up back 2-4, boom, and then whatever ender you want to do. Same with orbital, instead of doing dash jab and you're scared to drop it, 4-1. This is what I'm doing now, all the time. This is what I'm going for. No need to overcomplicate it. It's really, really helpful. Obviously with heat, I haven't even tried a heat combo, but I'm sure there's some wacky combo that's about to come out. Something like that. Something like that. 80 damage. It's really good combo filler, and you can use it as an ender, which is a nice little bonus. You can just go 4-1, boom. If you want, it does the same as 1+2 damage, but obviously I still go for back 2-2-2, back 2-1, and then the ender because it does more damage. So yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot of things in the patch that were a bit questionable for me, like very questionable. But overall, I just wanted to go through the changes that they've made to Bryan and how you can start utilizing his kit and what you want to be doing, what sort of mix-ups you want to be going for. When you're heat engaging and you're in crouch, you really want to utilize this hatchet. You want to utilize this mind game, especially at the wall. At the wall, this is scary stuff. This is scary stuff. You do your Oki, you wake up, and they press counter hit hatchet. They wake up duck because they see that you've gone into crouch, northern cross at the wall. Like I'm in crouch, northern cross, wall splat. So many things you have to think about now. So many things. So many mind games. Down two into duck, like down two transition into duck while standing three. Like there's so much variety in what you can do now. But again, the main things I would focus on is trying to use this in combos, getting used to it now, using it as a punish. 30 damage plus 7 have to use. Utilizing the low. People will discover more ways to use, back 1+2 for now. Because again, it does floor break as well. So you can use it in combos. You could do something, fancy. You could probably go for whatever, something like this, let's say. And then you would go for this as your ender, break the floor, break the wall, wherever it might be. And there's going to be some cool Oki situations that are going to come up as well. I've already found a few, which I'll probably do in another video. If you guys do want to see that, some cool Oki setups that you can do with the new moves. But yeah, I just wanted to go through sort of the basics with this. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you can take away something from it. I know it's quite simple. It was quite rushed, the video, really. But I hope that does help. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.